What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? People, how we doing tonight? How are we doing? I want to hear the cheers. I want to hear the screams. Come on. Come on. We survived to live another day. Yes, sir. Tottenham is here to stay in the Premier League this season. Boy, does that feel good to say, especially after the last, pretty much all 2026. And this whole year, 2026, I had no idea if Tottenham was going to be staying up in the Premier League. But here we are, baby. Here we are. So while you hear those round of applause, man, go ahead and give yourselves a round of applause, too. Come on. Give yourselves a round of applause. You deserve it. Any Tottenham fan watching, you deserve it. You deserve that round of applause as much as the team does. Come on. Let me hear them hands. Let me hear them hands. Oh, man. Come on, man. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get this live stream started. Let's go ahead and get this cracking. We got a bit of talk about today, so let's go ahead and start this live stream. Here's my face. What's up, folks? How we doing tonight? It is De La Spurs live coming to you May 26th, day after Memorial Day for all my US viewers. But May 26th, Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are live in De La Spurs studio. It's the end of the season. End of the season. There is no more football until. Well, no, actually, I lied. There's going to be football at the end of this week with the Champions League final, right? The Scum up the road versus PSG. And then after that, we got probably say about 2 weeks, 2.5 week break before we start to see some World Cup action here in my backyard here in America, in the United States of America, as well as Mexico and Canada. But the Premier League season is over. Tottenham, come on, you Spurs. We survived. Listen, I do feel good. I'm happy we are in the Premier League. As I was a little bit split on that. We'll kind of get into it as we talk about the game and just what this last game of the what's up next for Tottenham. But before we do all that, I want everyone take a moment. All right, go ahead. Like this live stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel. When you do, hit that notification bell. You get my posts when I'm going live. I post it when I'm going live this evening. So if you want to be a part of that, want to get those updates, go ahead, follow me on the YouTube. Subscribe to my subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on X as well. Same thing, De La Spurs. You can kind of see my tweets, what sort of timing I'm on for the day. If I'm just going after people, ripping heads off. If I'm, the articles I look at, some bits that I like to retweet, some fan opinions I agree with, some fan opinions I don't agree with. You know what I'm saying? You just want to be in on all that. Just get to watch it happen as it happens. Follow me on X as well. I'll also post on X when I'm going live. So you'll get the updated post as well. You'll also you try to post a live stream in X. So if you are on X, you see that post, you can just hit the link. It'll take you straight to the YouTube. Or I know on some formats of X, you can just watch the live off of YouTube on X. So you don't even have to necessarily leave the Twitter application. You can stay there, just watch YouTube live from X. But yeah, man, get in on both channels, follow, subscribe, hit the notification bell when you do so you can get those live updates. I appreciate it, folks. Listen, we are only how many are we away? 9 subscribers. We are only we are only one away from 10. If I could get one of y'all watching live to subscribe to the YouTube, that'd be great. We'll be at 10. That was the goal. So if we could hit that goal, that would be fantastic. It's just one subscription. You don't want to do it, tell your friends about it. Let them know. Tell them to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell some family. You know what I'm saying? Got any students, teachers, players, coaches, nannies, mentors, mentees, apprentices, bosses, trainers, whatever, whoever in your life, just let them know about this content. Tell them to hit the subscribe button when they do look at the YouTube, so we can go ahead and hit this 10 subscriber mark. I'd really appreciate it, folks. I really appreciate it. But yeah, man, we're gonna pretty much just kind of dive straight into it. Like I said, last game of the season, ain't gonna have much to talk about other than this. Not much to talk about other than this. Tottenham won, Everton nil. Home game. I want to say, is this the first home win of 2026? I believe it is. It's crazy. As sick as that sounds weird, and it's almost the end of May. Last game of the season is when we finally win a home game in 2026. As much as it sucks to say, boy, was this the most important game to win? Was this the game to win you want to do it in? But no, we get the 1-0 win at home to Everton. I mean, just kind of talking about the match in a whole before we get into the review. To be quite honest, I was nervous about this match. I ain't gonna hold you. I was nervous about this match. I didn't know what Everton team was going to show up. Obviously, we got a bad version of the Everton team. They posed little to no threat throughout the whole entire game. But yeah, I didn't know what version of Everton team we were going to get. I didn't know what David Moyes' plan was going to be. And also, I didn't know what Tottenham team was going to show up. Is this going to be the Tottenham team that holds under pressure that we've seen so many times in the past? Are they going to stand up like they did, get the result that we needed? Not necessarily the greatest performance, the most exciting performance, but we got the jammy goal that we needed. All cross over the line. That's all you need for it to count as one. That's what we got. Ended with the result that we wanted. And yeah, man. At the end of the day, Tottenham stays up. We stay in the Premier League. Our local London rivals in West Ham do go down, get relegated to the Championship. Even during the game, they did all that they could do, West Ham, and you have to kind of give them credit for that. That they won their game. You never get West Ham credit. Come on, don't laugh. Don't laugh. Come on. That's not. That's not. That's not. Don't laugh. Don't laugh at this team. They tried until the very end. They won. They won the game, right? They scored the goals that they needed to win that game. So you got to give West Ham some credit. But I hope they enjoy the championship. And is Wrexham in the championship? They're gonna be playing against Ryan Reynolds in freaking Mac from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Wrexham. So they can have fun down there in the championship. We're gonna be up here in the Premier League. But what does that mean? What does that mean for Tottenham? What is this the wake up call that we needed? Was this the how could you say was this enough salt in the wound? Seeing the scum down the road win the Premier League at the same time you're fighting for your existence in the Premier League. Is this what we needed to kind of kickstart something new? We're going to be talking about that, the message from the ownership, what fans think of that message, what I think about that message. We're going to go through it, like literally read through the message Peter Cherington sits in. But before we do all that, we're just going to go ahead and review this game. So let's go ahead and get everything. Let me get this pulled up. Hold up here. Yeah, we're going to go ahead. Let's get this going. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups for this game. What we have here. So I'm not sure. I don't think I did a match preview for the Everton game, but this lineup has been pretty consistent of what we've been seeing again. It's virtually who's left on the team that's able to play. But either way, right? We have in the back of the goal Kinski, who had another big save in this game as well. I'm pretty sure that's at least 2 or 3 games in a row that he started. He's made a big save, saved the goal. In that back line, we had Pedro Porro, Kevin Danso, Mickey Vanderven, and Destiny Udogi. You see a majority of that back line in the green, getting the clean sheet. Hey, that matters, man. A clean sheet matters. You know what I'm saying? So that back line does deserve some credit in the clean. Probably one of the first clean sheets we had in 2026 as far as at home. Getting the first home win of the 2026 calendar year is important as well. So you got to give credit to that back line for standing strong in that performance in the midfield. We got Bentoncourt, my man. All right, my man. This dude. It has to be player of the season for Tottenham. This man has single-handedly come in and saved Tottenham. He really has. A defensive midfielder, 6, mind you, probably has more goals than some of our forwards that we have. Has made more of an impact on both ends of the pitch than some of our forwards and some of our defenders. Zhao motherfucking Pauling. That's my dog, man. That's my dog. My player of the season, if it was up to me, got the goal that we needed. Um, had a good performance defensively. Did his job, man, and some. And how many times have we said that about this dude? How many times has he come in and saved us with the goal? May not be a game-winning goal. May have not necessarily been a game-tying goal, even though he has both under his belt this season. But how many times has this guy come in and stepped up with the goal? Like he's for someone who I think a lot of fans say didn't have the skill set that we wanted, regardless if it was Thomas Frank, Tudor, or now with Deserby. Fans are saying, "Oh, he's not skilled enough. He doesn't have enough tech to play for these coaches, play the way we want him to play. Oh, he's too rash. He doesn't have any he doesn't have that ability to kind of be graceful with the ball. He is slow, right? He's older. He's one of the older players on the team. He's on loan. So that doesn't mean he's going to be committed to this team. But yet every time we see this man walk out into the field, what does he do? What does he do? He shuts shit down. You know what I'm saying? He puts it down. You know what I'm saying? Like he is the one that leads this team, makes it operational. He's one of the batteries. I ain't talking about no triple A. He is a double A, single A. He's some thick ass rectangular batteries. You know what I'm saying? It's put in like a flashlight or a drill or something. He's one of them. Victor as well in the midfield. Out wide, we had Matisse Tell, Jed Spence, who was different than Kolomwani. Hell, even though he's a defender, I thought he offered a lot more on the ball than Kolomwani did. Honestly, get that fraud out of here. He can go back to Juventus, go back to PSG, wherever the hell he came from, wherever we bought him from, he can go back. Kolomwani, you're done here. You're done. And I'm pretty sure um, your window and opportunity at the highest level, say at a PSG, I think is done. So maybe a Juventus will take a chance on you, right? Maybe a team mid-table in Serie A, maybe in La Liga, a mid-table team. Maybe if you go back to France, maybe one of the top teams over there would take you back. But your time here at the very upper echelon is done. Dunzo, man, didn't make this World Cup squad either. It's over for him. I personally think it's cooked. But besides that, I thought Jedspin showed a whole lot more than Kolomwani out on the right side. In the middle, we had Conor Gallagher playing as a 10 again. Matisse Tell just seems to be everybody's favorite young player. I don't really think he did anything in this game again. Like I just don't think he offers much, and he may be the one that's taking the corners and stuff. So will he get GA from that? Yes. Will he get GA from crossing the ball in? Yes. Does he beat his man sometimes? Yes. But as far as what he actually offers, is there anything he's offering that Tottenham is missing out on at this moment? I don't think so. I think he can get his not only the same amount of output, but the same level of play, the tenacity, the running around, all that stuff you can get from a younger player already in the youth academy. If not in the youth academy, you can we can buy a better younger player. There's younger players available for sale in the Premier League right now that are better than Matisse Tell. So listen, had a decent performance is what we see from the Sofa score. I'm not convinced he's one that can go at the end of the season. I really don't care. And then we have Richarlison at the top, another one who can go at the end of the season. Don't really care. Don't just just hasn't really done anything for me. Hasn't really changed my mind. Hasn't really been a spark for me. Listen, first versus second half. I mean, what can we say about this game? This was a game of one half. We got the goal, as you can see on the left, in that attacking momentum box right over here. Hold on. Right over here, as you can see, we were dominating, cycling the ball through, having more of the possession. About to get some stats here as well. But by the end of the first half, we put the ball in the back of the net again. Jao Polina, my man, all bouncing around in the box. He's the one that's able to put it over the line to get what we needed. Let's pull up some stats in the first half. Stats in the first half, as you can see, like I said, dominated the ball, 66 possession, 2/3 of the possession on our end, as well as two big chances as well. We dominated in shots, corner kicks. We had more of the passing, more free kicks on the game. Let's look at the duels, right? Duel stats. And this is where I thought we would honestly lose the match, right? I thought Everton was going to be up for it. I thought they were going to be time wasting. I thought they were going to be smart with how they held on to the ball. Because I think they, in my mind, I knew, in my mind, I assumed this Everton team knew they weren't going to have much of the ball versus this Tottenham team. So what do when you get the ball? You keep it and you waste as much time as you have with it. So with that, I thought they were going to be a little bit more aggressive on the ground to get the ball. You can see here in the duels, they definitely won the aerial duel, just one more than us, but we had the same amount. Or is this saying out of all the duels in that first half? This page just reloaded. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's pull up the first half again. Okay. But yes, in the duels, like I said, I thought they would be a little bit more aggressive than us, not too far off, right? That we won 24 out of the 22. They won more than out of the aerial duels, and then as far as dribbles and getting past players, we were the better team, completing close to 70% of our dribbles on the day. Then, as far as defending, even defending. We looked like we were standing as a stronger team. That just goes to show you the effort that the team put in this last game. Compare it to the second half, right? Which I think we tailed off a little bit in the second half. You can see as far as the possession stats go, we only really had one big chance in the second half. Kaminsky again having to step up, make a big save. I forgot the player's name, but he was cutting into his right foot from the left side. Tried to do a curl in the top corner. Kinski was able to get in position, read that, bat it away. But again, as you can see here, um, as far as like the duels and everything, still dominated in the duels. As far as the ground duels, we had more of the aerial duels. That's to be expected. As I think, as far as like what was going on, the situation at that point in the match, I think we needed to go ahead and get the second goal, but I think at a certain point, the team just said we'd rather rest and defend this one goal lead that we had than stretch ourselves thin trying to get a second one, end up conceding, and then it's a tie game, and then the players are a lot more nervous, the fans are a lot more nervous. But yeah, man, it just looked like we not only were we able to sit back, not only were we able to keep the ball and put that offensive pressure on them, but then we were able to flip it, sit back and defend, and it looks like we defended pretty well. Um, Look at the tackles, like more tackles, more interceptions, more recoveries, more clearances in that second half. So obviously, game of two halves, but you can make the argument that in the second half we really didn't need to do much. That Everton team again, they just didn't really look like they were up for it, man. I'm not sure if it was because it's the last season. They're just trying to, limp over the line, prepare themselves for whatever next season may bring with David Moyes. I don't know what the situation was, but the Everton team didn't look like they were offering much at all in the game. But again, I think they had that one opportunity. I forgot homeboy's name, cutting in on his right. Kinski made the save. Exactly what we needed in that time because we could not concede a goal. Especially, I think that was a little bit later on in the match as well. Um, Going on, moving to the subs. I don't really think the subs had too much of an impact on this game. But you need the bodies, you need to switch them out. Let's get the subs on here. Pull this up. Let me pull this up. So as we can see here, Pape Sarr came in for Matisse Tell. Didn't really excite, do anything. Kolo Muani, again, this guy is cooked. He's out of here at the end of the season. James Madison made an appearance. Good to see him in the last game of the season. Archie Gray, again, didn't really have that much of an impact for me. Really didn't do much. Dragusin, looks like it was more of a time-wasting change, especially towards the 90th minute. But I think it was like almost 10 minutes extra time. So in the end, I think he still got some playing time out there in the field that was needed. But yeah, subs didn't really have an impact. I think that starting 11, that's been the core that De Zerbi has been going out to war with the most. And I think they made their impact in the game well before these subs need to come in to kind of substitute the bodies that were out there. So all in all, can't necessarily be mad at the subs, right? They didn't blow the game, but they didn't really provide much of an impact for us. Didn't really provide much of an impact for us. Question of the day: does Zerby get it right? Oh, you damn right, he got it right. Come on, man, he got that. Got it right. He got it right. Just like I said in my previous point, that starting 11 that he was going to war with pretty much the last 4 or 5 games proved themselves to get the goal that we needed, as well as to defend well in the first half. The first, let's just say, the first 15, 20 minutes of the second half, they were able to do their thing. So that's one thing he got right. I think the Jed Spence substitution for Kolomawani in the starting lineup was also a good decision by De Zerbi. I just think, again, Kolomawani, he's just done, man. He's cooked. Every time I see him on the ball, I don't understand what he does. I don't understand what was seen in him. And I wonder if it's just a lack of confidence, a lack of him wanting to be here, a lack of application on his part at this point in the season, or if he has just regressed this much in his career, which I would hate to say it because, I don't have anything personal against Cole Milani, but he hasn't shown the levels to me that would, A, warrant a move back to Juventus unless they're willing to take the gamble on him. 2, move back to PSG, especially with the attackers they have in that lineup now with Luis Enrique. I don't think he's going to fit anywhere there. And then 3, he hasn't warranted anything to make Tottenham want to bring him back in. Now, I know our ownership and our board are a bunch of dumbasses, so we'll have to see what decision they make this summer, if that is someone they want to make permanent or not. But nah, as far as Kolawani is done, man. He's done. Get that dude out of here. He's cooked. He's cooked. But nah, man, De Zerbi got it right. Again, that Jed Smith change in the starting lineup, I just think he offered a little bit more on the right side, pulled up the ball, started passing, also as well as defending from the front end as well, right? When you have a defender that can, maybe read some of that right back's movements a little bit more, kind of help with Pedro Porro in defending as well. We got two defenders instead of one, and then attacker, right? Small things like that. Um, Definitely had an impact on the game. And, not necessarily saying this is a masterstroke, genius move by Deserby, but again, I think it was the right decision. So have to give him that, man. Have to give that to Deserby. As far as like the substitutes, they didn't really have that much of an impact, so can't say he really did anything too much wrong there. Um, yeah, man. Listen, Deserby has, and I said this before in my last stream, he has, in my opinion, gained enough ground in the short time that he's been here to where he can go into that boardroom, start demanding things. Not saying he's going to demand the whole board to change their ways. Not saying he's going to be the one to lead Tottenham into a new age. But if you ask me, he definitely warrants going in and saying, hey, I want this player. If we're gonna go all out on a player, let it be a number 9. Let it be this player I'm gonna replace. Or there's a dude in that locker room right now I can't stand. Get him out of there and I'll be good. Like I think he has started to warrant maybe kind of making some demands, making some suggestions on what he wants the squad to look like, and especially with him staying in the Premier League as well, he can simply walk in and be like, "Hey, I was the savior of this team. Y'all were out on y'all's asses when I got here. Y'all had no idea what the hell y'all were gonna do if this team was gonna survive, and here you are now in the Premier League. Granted, in the very last place." Like next season, look at the Premier League table. We're going to be at the very bottom. But he stayed here. That was his goal. That's what he said he was going to do. That's what we brought him in for, and he succeeded. So I don't know. If I'm deserving, I'm saying, hey, I deserve a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Throw me a player here and there. Help me get rid of a player. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there might have been some incentives or some bonuses for keeping us in the Premier League that he's going to want. I'm going to need y'all to cough it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my gosh. Cough it up a little bit. But, oh, oh, that's my bad. That's my bad. That's my bad. I wasn't even thinking of it that way. I'm sorry. They may say you need to pay a little bit more and need a little bit more cashola, you with that contract that you guys gave. So, no, I think Deserby got it right, man. And all in all, man, I'm happy with the performance. I'm happy that we're staying in the Premier League. And ultimately, I was going to have the fans watch the game on Sunday. But that joy quickly turned into dread. Why would you say that? How can you, how, what possibly will make you think that this shouldn't be a time to celebrate, that you should be upset? Well, there's two levels of thinking with this. First level of thinking, again, doing a little happy dance in my bed. I'm happy. I'm glad that we were able to survive the drop. I couldn't imagine having to try to watch Tottenham on or in the championship, right? I'm glad we made it through. Like it's good job there. Deserby came in, did what he said he was supposed to do. The players look motivated now. There are some rumors that a couple of players that say they were going to leave at the end of the season, that they might want to stay. I'm not sure how much I believe all that. I think they do want to leave at the end of the day. But it definitely looked like that team was a lot more together than they were before Deserby came in. But the thought came over me. I said, as happy as I am that Tottenham stayed in the Premier League, honestly, going into this summer, you still have the ownership who, by the way, still pretty much led this flock of sheep, which is Tottenham fans and the team, to the edge of the cliff where we were about to fall off. The fact that nobody fell off, there's no sheep that fell off, doesn't mean that it was a success. We should do this again. It simply meant that it didn't blow up this time. So my excitement of what is in Tottenham's future from this moment, that's what brought me down a little bit because as happy as I was to stay, staying in the league now where our ownership has showed they have zero knowledge of what's going on, what they want, what they want to do, how to get there, how to achieve it, and what are the steps to do it. Like what benchmarks you want to put along the way there, right? And as well, I don't think there's been any sort of accountability from our board at all about what has happened this season. As a matter of fact, in January, if you remember, if you're a Tottenham fan, Johan Lange, right, one of our sporting directors came out and said, "Hey, we other than Conor Gallagher and the Souza kid, who by the way, he played what? He's played less than 45 minutes worth of football, and we just don't see him here. And he's gone. He's fucking gone. How crazy is that? We bought a kid in Souza who didn't even play, and Conor Gallagher, and then Johan Lange comes out and says, "Listen, not only could we not find anybody else in the world to improve this team, we're not going to buy any. We don't want to buy anybody else because we're not trying to blow the squad up. We're not trying to do this." Well, I think it's kind of interesting that our ownership did that to us this season. Uh, like they play a part in the reason why we were even in this situation to begin with. If you want to take it back even further, the appointment of Tudor, the appointment of Frank, right? I was never an Ange Postecoglou fan, but he got the trophy. So you would think naturally, even if you didn't know anything about sports, you know about your work in life, that achievement get some sort of award. Usually warrants an award, an extension of you doing what you did to get that achievement, right? Because you want to achieve that goal again. But Tottenham didn't do that. We fired Postecoglou after he won that trophy, which again I wasn't necessarily opposed to at the time. But before we won, I was saying, hey, Postecoglou doesn't win this. He finished 17th. Get him gone. Get him out of here, right? But if he did win, there's no arguments that I can make to say that he doesn't deserve another at least half a season here. If you wanted to give him the full season, I would have no arguments. He won Tottenham their first trophy in I don't know how many years. Won us a European trophy after I don't know how many years. Took us to a final since 2019, right? So like he hit some of those benchmarks that you want a Tottenham manager to hit, and he didn't get nothing from it. He still got fired. So you bring in this manager who couldn't even get close to that, other than finishing low on the table, right? That's the only thing that Postecoglou and Thomas Frank had in common, right? So when they both left, we were both at the bottom half of the table. But we brought in a guy who didn't have the same credentials, couldn't do what Postecoglou did, didn't have any history of doing what Postecoglou did. And then to top it all off, we didn't even try to prepare him to try to replicate what Postecoglou did. We gave him an even worse squad. It said achieve higher results. It was a complete disaster. Hold on, let me change it real quick. A complete disaster of what of what we of I guess trying to move on and progress past Postecoglou. So like all in all together, like I'm happy that we survived, but I'm not necessarily excited about what the future of Tottenham may hold for us. We may very well be in the same position again next season. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure, depending on what summer we have, and I know we're not necessarily going to have a good one, we're probably going to end up in the same position next season, just based off of our ownership's history and decision making, hiring people, recruitment, player wages, all that stuff. None of it has really changed over the years. So saying that we survived this and the Tottenham fans feeling a huge relief off their back, the ownership feeling a huge relief on their back, doesn't necessarily mean that in this moment of relief comes change. It just means in this moment of relief, you relieve. There's no more pressure. Take a breather. Let's relax. Let's just. But what we need to do from this point is we need to reassess, reanalyze, right? We need to get rid of people. All right. We need to do some firing before we do the hirings, right? We need to get rid of Johan Lange. We need to get rid of Vinay Venkatesh. We need to get rid of I guess you could say whatever medical staff is here. I know we had a new one. We had, I think, a new a head medical guy from Man City come in. I'm not sure how much he's been working this season, but as far as I can tell, nothing has really improved. So I'm not necessarily saying fire that guy, but whoever has been left in the medical facility, medical team, they need to get fired. Like some of these board members should have to go. Like there should be a whole lot of movement that goes on from here because this should not happen again, right? It should be saying this is the bottom of the bottom. Other than being relegated and falling through the floor, this is as low as it can get. So let's not hit this low again. I want to show you something interesting here. I want to show you something interesting. After the game, the next day, there was a letter from one of the Tottenham chairmen. His name is Peter Charrington. We're going to show this. I'm going to show this just so you can see kind of where the board is and where the chairmen's chairmen, chairwomen and men, chairs, where those people are, right? So let's pull this up. Ba, ba. All right, here we go. So this is coming directly from the website. I'll scroll to the top here. A letter from Peter Charrington, non-executive chairman. So this is someone who, non-executive chairman, I think is a fancy word for someone who can make the decisions but not have to take the responsibility. That's what I take it as. I know there might be some people watching who are non-executive chairmen in whatever facet of life you're in. That's what I get from this. I get it that you come in here, you can help make some of the decisions, but at the end of the day, when it comes to who's responsible, you put yourself in a position where you don't have to hold yourself accountable. You don't necessarily need to be accountable. They'll come to you for the decisions and ask you to put your input in and do this, do that. But when it actually comes to, okay, who needs to get fired from this all falling apart, your name won't be thrown into that list because you're, I guess, not executive. You're not necessarily in the offices, or I don't know what it necessarily means, but he put out this letter. Apparently, he has enough authority to put out a letter to fans, making promises on Tottenham's behalf, even though he's not an executive that works for Tottenham. Apparently, he is somebody that has this authority in Tottenham. So let's see what he has to say. It reads, "Dear supporters, on Sunday, despite a season that gave you so little, you gave everything. Full stadium, full voice, full belief until the final whistle." Which, by the way, we did throw another loser parade. I thought that was pretty funny. That's why the stream clip art is the first loser parade we had because I thought it was very interesting that we did another loser parade. And I get it. De Zerbi was the one that came out and asked for this, right? So we got we got to follow with the gaffer, the manager. But I think it's still pretty embarrassing. Your team's about to get relegated. Let's throw a parade because what the joy and the feeling and the mood is so high right now. Let's just throw a parade. Like, come on. I have thought carefully about how to begin this letter, and at the end, and in the end, that moment said it. In the end, that moment said this letter, and at the wait, no, I'm sorry. In the end, that moment said it better than I can. That sounds stupid to me. Let me reread that sentence. All right. I have thought carefully about how to begin this letter, and in the end, that moment said it better than I can. I guess he's talking about the end of the match. I'm not sure what that sounds like. It sounds like Chat GBT, to be honest. That sounds like some random random words and meaningless sentences that a Chat GBT AI robot would say. So let's just see if that continues. It is why we owe you honesty about where we have fallen short and what we are committed to now. Last September, we recognized that something seismic had to change at Spurs. The Lewis family stepped in and authorized a full reset. Hear that? So the Lewis family is taking responsibility and saying we stepped in and authorized a full reset. That decision was not taken lightly. It came later than it should have. It was not taken lightly, and it came later than. Oh, I'm sorry. It came later than it should have. So he's saying this full reset should have happened sooner. But what has been put into motion is real. It marks a genuine break from what we had come from, which I find very interesting because last season we finished in 17th place. So they're saying that this change should have happened and things put in motion now are genuine and makes breaks from what we had. It looks like it's the same fucking thing that we saw last season. So we didn't win a trophy. We did more last season. The season you said we need to reset and redo this than what we did this season, where we achieved the same finish, but we didn't win anything. So I don't know what real thing you're kind of pointing towards, but we'll see. As part of that process, we discovered some comfortable truths. Oh boy, here we go. The qualities that make Spurs distinct are football, our ambition, the connection between the team and its supporters has been allowed to fade. So notice one important thing in this. Nothing about success. Nothing about trophies. Nothing about winning the Premier League, winning the Champions League, winning Europa. Nothing about the domestic cups. Nothing. It's just what makes us distinct is our football, which has been shit for a while now. Our ambition, which has been shit for a while. The connection between the team and its supporters, which has been shit, has faded or has been allowed to fade. That's something that we can agree on, right? Even though I wouldn't necessarily say for the football and the ambition, that's been gone. But the connection between the team and supporters has definitely been fading since 2016. Football success has not been driving our decisions. So here's a big thing, right? Here's the big kind of big takeaway from this letter is that football success has not been driving their decisions. So when they say that real change is needed, change that should have happened sooner and it came later, the mistakes that were made, all these things that were leading that was decisions being made not on the behalf of footballing success. So pretty much, even the year that we won the Europa League, but pretty much the last how many years have they been in charge? Last 25 years, 24, 25 years, footballing success has not been a part of their decision. I find that very interesting that they're coming out to say this now when moving into the new stadium, selling Harry Kane and Son, firing Pochettino, firing Mourinho, firing Ange Postecoglou, all these decisions that were quote unquote made for the future of the footballing, it all comes out now that actually what was behind those decisions was not the success of the football team, it was other factors. So this gives me credence as a fan. I know it may not sound fair, but all the conspiracy theories of transfers falling through on purpose, right? Of decisions being made despite a member, a player, a coach, a staff member, decisions made to despite even some of the fans. It leads to credit being in the bank for those conspiracy theories because you're coming out and saying well, football success wasn't the driving force of these decisions, which a lot of conspiracy theories around Tottenham say footballing success has not been the driving force for a lot of the decisions made, I'd probably say, for the last damn near decade. But no, we were told, no, You're just thinking of things. There's no way that this ownership cannot be thinking about the footballing success. That's what drives in the money. That's what brings them the money. This team has to be successful. We're buying, we're buying players. We're spending the 300 million. Footballing success is there. Whether or not they have the knowledge of footballing success to get the right results or to make progress, that was another debate we were told to have because there was no way footballing success was not a part or the driving force behind these decisions. But now they're coming out and saying it. Let's continue. We did not have the right expertise in key roles. We did not build squads good enough to compete in the most demanding league in the world. Two 17th place finishes in a row is not acceptable. And we will not dress it up as anything other than falling well short of what this club expects. So another couple interesting things from this. One, the same things the Spurs fans have been pointing out for years now that are the reasons why this team has not been successful, they're coming out and saying it. Apparently, upon review of Peter Charrington, who, by the way, didn't really step up into this role until the beginning of the season, apparently he can come in, see in a matter of a season, these are all the things wrong with Tottenham. But over the past 20, 24 years with Daniel Levy and Father Enoch and whatever the role the children had, which, by the way, they did have a role. It may not have been as much or as front facing as it is now, but they always had a role in decision making, right? Apparently, for all that time before, they had no idea this was going on. Or whatever was going on, whatever success, whatever the fuck you would want to call success, was masking what the reasons they're stating now is why the football team has been falling apart and has been falling short. They're able to identify it now, but back then they couldn't see it. They didn't know what was going on. They thought the recruitment was wrong. They thought the manager was wrong. Let's bring in some more. Let's bring in this. Let's bring in that. And when the same things, the same results would happen, we get to around mid-table. Then we finish around Europe, close to Europe. We make it into Europe. What do we do from there? And that's what we do. But apparently, that was all masking everything that a lot of Tottenham fans like me and other YouTube content creators for Tottenham and even fans that attend the games on social media have been saying for years now. For years they've been saying these are the reasons why Tottenham won't be successful. And now after finishing 17th, the board being scared shitless of not knowing what their future is, now all of a sudden, these were the things that we were messing up on. We figured it out, folks. Hey, we figured it out. We didn't build squads good enough. When we sold Harry Kane and we brought in Richarlison and Solanke, we now realize that's not good enough. When we sold Human Sung and we brought in Brendan Johnson, Wilson Bear, and Matisse Tell, that's not good enough. When you sell Moussa Dembele and you don't replace him, that's not good enough. When you sell Hugo Lloris and you bring in Vicario and Kinski, that's not good enough. In the most demanding league in the world, by the way. We know this has been the most demanding league in the world. We know because, first of all, of how many viewers it gets and how much money is being made. This has always been the most demanding league in the world. This has been, what, year 4 or 5 that your team has been limping to the finish line due to injury. Now you figured out this is the most demanding league in the world. You've been in the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League as you were in the Premier League, and now you're just figuring out this is the most demanding league in the world. You're now figuring out two 17th place finishes is not good enough. It's not good enough because the second year you finished in 17th, you had no idea if you were going to finish in 17th or 18th. And it was looking for a good minute that you were going to finish in 18th. Now, all of a sudden, that's not good enough. And they're not going to dress it up as anything other than falling short of what this club expects. Not what they set up to do, not what they set up to achieve, but what they expected. Let's continue. Since September, we have restructured leadership across the club with a refreshed executive football structure. Most of this team are already in post, and others will arrive in the coming weeks. The board are committed to this leadership group and will give them stability and support. This is bullshit. What do you mean committed to the leadership group? Who the fuck is the leadership group? Who's the leadership group here? Benai? Is it Lange? Apparently, we're going to have a new guy in Sebastian Kell coming in. Daniel Levy is the one that hired Vinay and Lange. He's not here anymore. Was he part of the leadership group? The eating children that apparently just been hiding and squirming under rocks like worms. Now all of a sudden the rock gets flipped over. They're part of the leadership group now. Why isn't this saying that we're giving the stability, the trust, the money, the backing to a manager? We've had Jose Mourinho, Conte. We now have De Zerbi. We've had some pretty damn good managers walk through that door. And you're still saying at the end of the day, well, the leadership team is who we're going to back. This leadership team is the one that brought in Tell. This leadership team is the one that brought in Odegaard and Ben Johnson and Richarlison and Solanke. This leadership team is the same leadership team that came out in January and said, we don't know what the hell else we can do, so we're not going to do anything. This is the leadership team you want to. This is the leadership team you want to back. This is the leadership team you say you want to give everything to. And in a matter of 5 or 6 months ago, the leadership team had their thumb all the way in their ass with no idea what to do next. This leadership team was about to damn near get us relegated. And you're saying, well, now we need to back them even more. No. What you do is you get rid of this leadership team as a whole, bring in a new one, back the manager there that you have that saved the team, and then guess what? When that manager starts to fall apart, then you bring in your leadership team to do something. Then you bring them in to say something. Then you bring them in to do the reviews and do whatever else they say they're doing now. You don't back this leadership team after they got your club relegated twice. Twice. We almost got relegated. And you're saying, let's back them again. What? Let's continue. Roberto De Zerbi is signed as men's head coach for 5 years, a reflection of our belief in his ability and our commitment to build back to where we need to be. Well, this is also bullshit because the previous manager that you had before, he was also signed 4 to 5 years. You didn't even let him finish out the season. So it's a reflection of nothing. It's a reflection of nothing. Belief in his ability. You had belief in Thomas Frank's ability. You were sitting here saying that he's one of the top coaching prospects in the Premier League. And his approach was exactly what we need. Now all of a sudden he's not here anymore. Now all of a sudden you got to bring in an interim. You say you backed, was well researched, everybody believed in him. You don't even let him finish the stint. And then you bring in this guy who he actually saves you, and then now all of a sudden, oh, he's a reflection of our belief and commitment to build back to where we need to be. But it's funny because you wanted to hire this guy for what? Before he got hired for like 60 million, you wanted to hire him for less. And he said, no, you have to come back and what I believe probably start moving some money around, making things seem like you have more money than you had, or that you've always had this money, and now just pulling it out your ass when you need it. So I don't believe any of that. The commitment to deserve it, because I'm sure if we're in 14th come January next season, he's gone. He's gone. And we could still have Batiste Tell, we can still have Wilson Odebear, we can still be in the same injury crisis that we were this season. If he's in 14th next season, he's out of here. They don't care. So what is your belief? What is your commitment? Are you willing to stand by a manager, let them have a couple of bad finishes because you see that there's a brighter future ahead with him there? Or are we going to see the same board who says, "Hey, we don't look to stand to make as much money as we were planning to make this season because of the finishes, because of our performances, because of what's been happening on the season, how many people have been showing up, going through the buying the tickets, going through the merch shops, buying all the concessions. Those numbers don't look the same way, so now we need to do something." And fans say that they're not committed to this team, they're not committed to go to games anymore. Now we need to do something. Or will you stand by the man, like in these words that you're saying, for 5 years? You're going to be committed to this man and his ability to bring us back to where we need to be. That's up for the board to decide. But we've seen this story before. We've heard it before. Conte, Antonio Conte. You know, the one that's won the Premier League multiple times, the one who's won Serie A multiple times. That Conte. Yeah, he came in here for what, 2 seasons? And we let him go. And he had a 4-year deal. Or no, I'm sorry, a 3-year deal. He didn't even finish his last year. Commitment. Unreal. Let's continue. Our commitment to you are clear. We will build a squad led by Roberto as head coach with the right blend of experience, youth, leadership to compete at the highest levels of the Premier League and European football. How many times have we heard this sentence? We're going to build a squad. We're building a squad. This squad will be built to do this, to compete at the highest levels of the Premier League and European football. First of all, again, something that I state as a clear and obvious whenever I see this statement roll around every season. None of this says to build a squad to win the Premier League, win European football championships, to win the domestic cups. None of that statement says you're building anything to win. You're just building to compete. Well, you competed in the Premier League this season. You're going to be competing in the Premier League next season. So right now, technically, you're already 30% of the way done because this squad is already competing in the Premier League. It'd be different if you were saying this and we're in the championship, right? Because then that means you have to build a squad that's going to compete at another higher level that we're not even at right now. But you're just talking about a team that can compete in the league that we've been in, that we were fighting to stay in, granted, but that we're already in still. We will invest across multiple transfer windows to rebuild, balance, strengthen, with the summer representing an important first step in that work. How many times have we heard that for a manager? This summer is going to be the most important. This summer, going into this summer, is the most important summer for Tottenham because this, and this is on. We're going to be investing across multiple transfer windows because we've already promised this manager he's going to be here for multiple years. And then when you reduce the wage bill, you don't replace players that have left. You go into the January window, you don't buy anybody. As a matter of fact, you said we couldn't find anybody, so fuck it. He's not going to do anything. So I know this is a lie right here as well. We will continue to modernize our football operation with a significant focus on raising standards across medical and performance. Modernize our football operations. Does that include LinkedIn? That include posting positions? I guess that is modern, right? Because that's what everybody's using to apply for jobs is LinkedIn. You know, nobody's going into the Tottenham offices and leaving their resume at the door. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a business card. Nobody's doing an elevator pitch to any of the board members. walking up to the office in the morning or leaving in the evening. There's nobody there who's showing up to the office every day. Before everybody shows up, first one there, last one to leave, trying to get a job. This isn't the pursuit of happiness, right? Where some low level guy is going to come in, goes on the brink of being fired, and gets a higher level position to save his life. That's not what's happening. This is not, and this is, I get it. This is one of the harder things to see, right? It's not really going to be any tangible proof that Tottenham is modernizing their football operations until we see better footballing operations, which could take years to have effect. But again, how many times have we heard this? We're going to modernize our football operations, especially across the medical field. How many times have we heard that we're going to improve on the medical team? Our approach with this statistical approach. We're looking at the stats of these players. We're running these stats through. We're crunching these numbers so that we know that these players are worthwhile before they come in. Well, how good has that approach led us so far? Because with that approach, we built two squads that haven't competed for, and we finished in 17th. So how good has that approach been so far? Or do you want to continue to build on that approach that has built you two 17th place squads in a row? We continue. We will increase investment in the academy to ensure that the pathway from youth football to the first team is one of the strongest. Oh, give me a break. Give me a break. All we have to say is look at how much Archie Gray, Bergval, Wilson Odebear, and Matisse Tell cost. Look at all of their costs and tell me that you're willing to invest in the academy. You're spending up to 150 million plus on some teenagers, and you're talking about we're going to increase the investment in the academy. That 150 million should have gone into the academy. Because I can guarantee you there's players that are just as good as Odebear, good as Matisse Tell, that'd be willing to take a seat in the apprentice seat, like an Archie Gray to Bergval in this midfield. So don't tell me that you're investing it in the academy if you're willing to spend up to 150 million on young players. We got Souza on loan as well, by the way. Let's not forget that. As if there was not a right back in the youth academy available to come in and play. We brought Souza in on loan. And don't be surprised, don't be shocked if we buy that nigga. Like, we're gonna buy him. That's eventually gonna happen because we're gonna get, say, an Andy Robertson. If that deal doesn't get hijacked, we'll bring in an Andy Robertson, and then we're gonna have to bring in a young player to balance with Andy Robertson being so old. Who's someone who's played for Tottenham, who's young, who can be that person? Oh, well, Sousa's done that. Plus, with him being on loan, we already know that he's not going to be that expensive. It's already priming himself. We're already priming ourselves to buy Sousa. It's going to happen. Plus, with the 150 million of youth players that we bought over the past 2 to 3 years, all that money, time, and effort to find those transfers could have been to investing in the youth academy, like they said. And not only do we have those youth players on the team now, but just think we have what's his name? Youngman Hook, Vuskovic. I think there was a third one as well. I believe there is a third one as well. We have those three players that we bought, three young players that we bought. They're still technically waiting in the wings to get in on this team. We bought nearly almost a starting 11 of youth academy players. Bought, not brought through the academy and then signed to a senior contract. We bought with funds and money that we could have allocated for senior talent or just put it back in the youth academy. And I guarantee you this trend is going to continue. Especially if they're going to say, like they said, build this team with the experience. Well, you're going to need someone to offset that experience. You're going to need you. And regardless of whether the manager we have in Deserby, if he spends a whole month with the youth academy and says none of these players are good enough to play on my starting 11, we're going to buy teenagers. We're going to bring in some teenager who's unproven. We're going to end up spending more than we should on him. He's going to end up being a bust for the next 2 to 3 seasons because he's just a teenager, and we're going to be stuck with him because his value is never going to be as high as we bought him for, and we're not going to be willing to take the loss. So we'll end up falling down into the youth team, end up falling and being up on loan. We're going to end up loaning them out over and over and over again to one of the clubs that we loan them out to says, yeah, we're willing to take them. We'll take them. We're not paying the 12 million you paid for a 19-year-old, but we'll pay about maybe 2 or 3 million. And we're either going to have to take the loss or we're going to let that player's contract go all the way out and they're going to end up signing for that club anyways. Like that, the reality of what's been happening, what we've seen happen, what they say they want to happen is not it's not conducive to me believing anything in this letter right now. Let's continue. Since becoming chairman, I have realized that Spurs fans are built differently. Ooh. I have seen it over and over again in the last 9 months across every generation and every conversation. Even the darkest of seasons, you showed up and carried this team. That loyalty is not something we take for granted. It's something that we are determined to be worthy of. Interesting. That this Charrington guy, who by the way came in at the beginning of the season, right? Now I'm not saying this is his first time dealing with Tottenham. He's been dealing with Tottenham for however long he's been dealing with Tottenham, but this is the first time he's come in this front-facing position. He came into this front-facing position at the beginning of the season. So for him to say, "Oh, Tottenham fans are built differently because he watched a really bad season of football," I don't really necessarily believe that. I don't really believe that. What also I don't believe is that this whole across every generation and every conversation. I don't believe any of these board members have the balls to try to talk to any of our fans. They do not, because they know exactly what the result is going to be. So I guarantee you, at the end of games, they're rushing out on their executive entrances and exits, getting into their private vehicles, Ubers, taxis, whatever it may be, blacked out windows, hiding their face, making themselves as low profile as possible because they know what will happen if they actually try to confront and talk to our fans. They know exactly how that conversation is going to go. So I don't believe this whole conversation. Maybe conversation with other board members. If Cheriton talked to Levy or the Enoch children, any other board member, oh, hey, what do you think about the fans? Oh, hey, I saw the fans do this. Maybe he got it out of those conversations, but I don't believe for a second Charrington or anybody in that boardroom, as of that matter, has sat down and had a conversation with the Spurs fan. I think they're afraid to face Spurs fans. I think that's one why this thing came out. Two, I didn't hear them go up on the intercom, grab a microphone at the beginning of last season, try to hold any sort of accountability, try to address the fans. There wasn't any game programs or anything that went out on the last game of the season. So this whole notion of the conversation they had with us, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And if you honestly think they had a conversation with a Spurs fan, you think they're going to pick the Spurs fan that's going to be critical of the job they've been doing? Or are they going to pick the Spurs fan that's just going to be a happy clapper? That's just happy to walk into the Spurs boardroom. That's just happy to see other parts of the stadium. That's going to be happy with just being happy to be there. Just saying. The loyalty is not something we take for granted. Yet Here they're throwing out the season ticket tweets while we're sitting in we're falling into 18th place. We don't have a home win on the season. They're tweeting out about season tickets. Doesn't take our loyalty for granted. All right, let's continue. There has been speculation about ownership and the future direction of the club. Let us be direct. Tottenham Hotspur is not for sale. Oh my gosh. How can we not? The Lewis family are wholly committed to this club and to this rebuild. They will provide the stability and investment needed at every level to move us forward. They see that as a long-term responsibility, not a short-term fix. Again, how long have we been hearing this? How long have we been hearing this? I'm sick of hearing this. Like this. You can't sit here and say that they've been saying the same things to us year after year. They may get someone to say it differently. They hired Vinay. Maybe he had some different words he could put in. Maybe he knew some bigger words that we haven't said yet. I believe this is some chat GPT stuff. So maybe there's some AI prompts they can throw in here or there. Change how the language sounds and make it sound like it's coming just from another Spurs fan like you and me. But this, first of all, they will provide stability and investment needed at every level to move us forward. First of all, last season, we haven't moved forward since last season. We've been in the same place. As a matter of fact, we've had even worse of a finish this season than last season. So we've gone backwards. As far as the investment, we've gone backwards. The wage bill has gotten lower. The quality of the squad has gotten lower. The age of the squad has gotten lower. To provide the stability is 2 17th place finishes. That's not stability. And if you're going to sit here and tell me that next season is going to be a European finish, I got a freaking F-250 jet that I can sell you. There's a big old arch in St. Louis that belongs to me that I'm looking to try to rent to somebody. There's a big old clock tower in London that the American sold to you guys. We want it back. Like, how gullible can you be? How gullible can you be? And then the worst part about this, the club is not for sale. First of all, I don't believe that. One, because everything is for sale if you got a price. Everything is for sale if you have a price. Everything is for sale if you have a price. What do I mean by that? I mean, if a billionaire comes in now and says, I'm going to give you $4.5 million for Tottenham, sold. Sold. This club was worth less than $1 billion when they bought it. Someone's buying it for $4.5 billion. Sounds like a good profit margin to me. Sounds like something they'd be willing to get behind. Sounds like there may be some tables and meetings they're willing to have. But this whole not for sale thing, I don't believe it. It's not for sale because they didn't get the money they want for it. They're not going to get the money they want for it, especially now. And look, this has been a little bit of a weird topic, weird thing to say about this. But like, in my honest opinion, if you ask me, say we were to get relegated, I think it'd be easier to sell Tottenham in the championship than it is to sell now. Why do I say that? I say it because of this. One, you have a fan base that's proven, one, they're not going to stop spending money here. 2 17th place finishes, and I guarantee you those season tickets are already bought up. There's still a big-ass waiting list for people who want to get their name on a season ticket for Tottenham that we want to show up to every home game, whether we were in the Premier League or in the Championship. 2, Um, as far as being in the Premier League, the ownership will continue to receive Premier League money. So as long as they have that, and that might not be enough revenue to clear all the debt they have, they won't be in the black after just receiving the revenue that they get from the Premier League. But it sure is a hell of a lot more than what they would have received in the championship. And then three, the footballing success, which is something that they don't really care about. If we were in the championship, you have to be successful to move up. If you want to sit there and be mediocre in the championship, you can do that, but you won't make as much money. People will leave, and ultimately, you will be the face of a team that's mediocre in the championship. There is no pride, there is no prestige in being in the championship. No offense to anybody who's watching who's a fan of a championship club, but that's the reality. So this ownership couldn't sit on their hands in the championship and say everything is fine because we're still making money. We're still doing this. We're still doing that. We're still able to operate and move like this and warrant this level of gravitas in meetings when we're trying to get deals done because we're in the Premier League. No, you're in the championship. Like that's cool for some of these smaller clubs in the championship that have a little bit more ceiling to kind of grow. And there's billionaires who would want to invest to try to facilitate that growth. But with Tottenham, it's not even a growth. You've shrunk. So now you got to figure out how you expand back to the position that you were in and then continue to grow. But you can't do that expansion or you can't do that growth in the championship. So there's a lot. Our ownership would have been put in a situation to where you have to be successful because that's the only way you can grow. You can't grow a team commercially in the championship. It just won't work. You won't make the money that you're looking to make, especially if you're a team that was in the Premier League making a certain bag already. So you're going to have to grow through the footballing success. Commercially, you're not going to be as viable as an option. You're not going to be as sexy of an option to advertise. So all the focus does have to go into the football. You're playing a longer season, right? The game comes on, right? Here in America, if you want to watch championship football, you either have to watch it on CBS, you have to watch it on one of CBS's alternative networks, or you have to stream it through Paramount, which is a streaming app CBS has access to it. I think they can stream onto Paramount as well. But Paramount is a streaming service, which you can make the arguments. Is it better than Peacock? Is it this? Is it that? Whatever. But Peacock has had the Premier League advertisement for years now. They have that name brand recognition. Paramount does not have that name brand recognition with the championship. One, because not a lot of people watch the championship. And two, there's so much other stuff on Paramount people rather watch than a secondary sports league. So you're talking about losing viewers. You're talking about losing commercial success and having to focus solely on the football, something this ownership, I think, has no interest in doing. Do you know what they're going to say? We have no interest in this football club anymore. Let's sell it. If we can't make any money commercially from this, if we have to now not only pull money out of investors' pocket, but money out of our own pockets to get some sort of footballing success, just to get back up to the point where we can start moving around commercially like we would have, we don't want to do that, nor do we know how to do that. So let's sell the football team, give it to somebody who does, and walk away with the money that we have. Because also something you have to factor in is because there's going to be a very small window you're going to have for people wanting to buy Tottenham just freshly dropped into the championship. After 2 or 3 years in the championship, Tottenham will become a regular mediocre championship team that won't be as sexy anymore to an investor. or someone who wants to invest in a team that just had a slip up in a season and fell down to the championship, or been slipping up for the past seasons. Their fans are kind of through with this ownership. Let's see if I can come in and shake things up. Versus the fans are pretty much dead. This team has been in the championship for 2 to 3 years now. There's no footballing success. Nobody has built anything close to footballing success. That takes a lot more investment, time, and effort on the buyer's end versus the team that just dropped in. You say, well, I know that there's players that are good enough. I know that there's still moves that can be made. There's still room for me to try to do something, invest in the squad, and get something back, and get us back into the Premier League. So for me, I thought it would have been easier for this ownership to sell in the championship than it would the Premier League. Because now the issue you have to look at with the Premier League, Tottenham has retained that value. So now you will have to submit the bids of over 3.5, 4 billion, 4.5 billion to get this ownership to consider. Versus you drop down to the championship, I think that instantly cuts 1 billion off your price tag. Instantly. So instead of being 3.5 billion, you're now at 2.5 billion. 2 billion, 2.5 billion, maybe 3 on the top end. But you're telling me there's not going to be investors licking their lips to make a $3 billion purchase of Tottenham? But you at least set up some deal where they're paying out a certain amount every year until they do get the full ownership? And the more time that we spent in the championship, the lower and lower that value is going to be. Now, granted, yes, that value can fall so low, and when that investor looks to buy Tottenham, they can see that the situation is so dire that they say, hey, this business is dying and it's not worth investing in. But if we were to drop into the championship, I would say that first season or two in the championship would be prime pickings for an investor. Prime pickings. Because they could say, I'm not willing to pay more than $3 billion for a championship team. Y'all don't know what the hell y'all are doing. It's obvious. You're losing fans. You're losing money. So you either cut me a deal now, or you can try to figure out how to get a better deal later. But based off of the history, the results of that, from what we've all seen, you're not good enough to do that. So the authority would have all been on the buyer side of saying, either give me the club now and I can take off like a rocket ship, or I can let you die with the club. Well, at that point, no one's going to want to buy the club at that point. Once you're 3, 4, 5 years into the championship, the first 1 or 2 seasons, it's prime pickings. It's prime pickings, especially with a lot of the American investment that you see coming to the Premier League now. Because you got so many billionaires in America, billionaires in Saudi, whether you want to call that sports washing or not. But there's people who want success, who breed off of success in their businesses, their ventures, that would love to buy Tottenham and make them that success. So this whole notion of we wouldn't be able to see the championship, I'm not sure if I necessarily buy that. I'm not sure if I necessarily buy that. And what I said may have not made any sense, but to me, right? To me, if I'm looking to buy something, I'm looking to invest in something. I know I have to invest regardless. I'd rather invest in something that looks like it's a better prospect. It's on the low end when I buy it, with the high ceiling versus something that's already high in cost, doesn't really have that much higher of a ceiling. And I'm going to be the person that's going to have to punch through the ceiling to make more money. I don't want to do that if I'm already paying a shit ton of money just to get it. I'd rather pay on the low end, right? Burst through that low ceiling that's already there, make the money then, and then I can go even further. I can rocket ship from there. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. But let's get back to this. Let's get back to this letter. We'll finish reading up this letter and then we'll end the stream. We're already close to an hour and a half. This season fell well short of what Tottenham Hotspur demands. We must be in the fight with the best teams in the league every season. We are rebuilding this club with that standard in mind. Again, not mentioning anything about winning the league, winning trophies, doing anything successful in any competition. They're just looking to compete. They're just looking to fight with. Well, guess what? We were fighting with wolves this season. Wolves pushed us to the wall this season. Burnley pushed us to the wall this season. West Ham in Leeds pushed us to the wall this season. Why? We can fight with those teams. What good does that do? When you're fighting with low level teams, you should be wanting to win, right? You should be wanting to win the Premier League. I know it's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. In this same letter, you said this is the most demanding league in the world. Well, guess what? If you don't want to be in that demanding league, then you should have went all hands off. You should have fired the manager, put an interim in, so we fall to the championship. So then that's an easier league to win. Like the this whole notion of just wanting to compete and just happy to be there is just so ingrained in Tottenham. It's just even in a moment where you have a free, wide open space to make your mark as what you want to do, what you want the future of this club to be. You just say, I'm happy to compete. I'm just happy to be here. I just wanted an invite to the party. I don't actually have to go. I'm not actually bringing anything. I don't actually got any vibes to contribute. I'm just happy to be at the party. I'm just happy to see everybody having a good time at the party. That's all I want. That's my vibe. That's loser shit. Loser stuff. This club lives in the hearts of everyone who's ever loved it. It has been carried through living rooms and stands, weekends, and long journeys home. We will get back to where we belong, Peter Charrington. And we're going to end it on this note. But you notice how, even in that whole letter about talking about how everything's not good enough, all this, all that, not a single apology. Not one apology, not one, I'm sorry this happened. Not one, I'm sorry it will never happen again. I'm sorry these factors were going on and that affected our decision making. Not one apology. It's been, hey, we've been moving like this. Yeah, it's kind of sucked, but hey, we're gonna try to get it right next time. Like imagine, right? Your partner cheats on you. You've gone through all this rigmarole to find the evidence, find the text messages, even meet the person they're cheating on you with. You have to sit down with your partner, right? Go through the emotional roller coaster of building enough strength to find the words to tell your partner to ask them these questions. You know what they say? Man, yeah, that's not good enough. I would say if any other husband in this situation would not accept this from their wife. So I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. They don't even apologize. No other husband would accept this from their wife. So let me try. I'm gonna try to be better. I'm gonna try to be better. When I go out, instead of staying up till 2 in the morning, I'm only gonna stay up till midnight. Instead of me hiding my phone whenever you walk into the room, I'm just gonna turn my phone off. So that way it can still be sitting there out in the open for you to see. When I'm hanging out with my friends, I'll just text you a couple more times. Not gonna call, not gonna check in, not gonna do any of it. I'll just text you a little bit more. You'd be sitting there staring at your partner with, I hope is an expression of disappointment, but you'd be looking at your partner with the craziest face. Like, what are you even saying? Do you not understand what this means? Do you not understand how much this hurts me? Yeah, I see that. I see how much it hurts you. I can see the pain on your face. I can hear how shaky your voice is. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? Next time I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna text you the address of the place that I go to. I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna text you when I pull up to this place. That's me being better. You know what? You know what? Next time I'm going out with my friends, right? Next time I'm going out with my friends, I'm gonna text a picture of the outfit I'm wearing. So you know what I'm wearing when I'm hanging out with my friends. Or you know what? When I say I have to work late at night, I'm not going to be home till late. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to text you when I'm on the way home. I'm going to text you when I pull up to the house, when I'm pulling in the driveway. So that way you know when I'm pulling up. Is that better, sweetie? Do you love me now? Like, do you know how crazy that sounds and how small a concessions that Peter Charrington is having to make with this letter? And he feels because this is chat GBT, this is AI, we're gonna eat it up. Like this is just this letter is an indictment of just how clueless, how out of touch, and how directionless our ownership, board members, board group actually is. They have no spine, no backbone, no direction, and they don't even have the fucking courtesy to apologize for delivering 2 shit seasons. Because I guarantee you, whatever messages you got about a season ticket for next season, that's not your first message. I guarantee you the season ticket prices that were for this season will be the same next season. I guarantee you, there's going to be no event run for the fans to talk with the ownership to voice their distrust and their concern and their disappointment with the lack of footballing success. We're going to get the same dribble that we've been getting in the summer. We're going to get linked to all these different names. People are going to get excited. Ooh, this is what they promised us. They promised us they were going to do this. They promised us they're going to try to put their name in the hat more. They promised us. They promised us. And when it all falls through, we end up with Souza, right? We end up signing Kolomowani again to another loan because he couldn't find a permanent move, right? When Van de Ven or Romero eventually does leave, we'll get the same excuses. And we'll go into the next season. All the fans will be bought up again. Oh, don't say anything. Don't be negative. Everybody just shut up until at least January. Don't pay attention to results. Don't do this. Don't do that. Then in January, oh, don't be negative. We have the January window. They could be doing this. They could do that. We could be in the exact same position we are in right now next season in the fan sentiment, the board sentiment, everything at Tottenham will be the same. Nothing will change. All the mentality, what they want to do, all that will still be the same. Will just be different faces, different places. That's all. That's all. So if you ask me, am I excited about the future of Tottenham? No, I'm not. Why would I be? We have the same incompetent bastards leading this team, leading this club into the same hole that we've been in for the past 3 to 4 seasons. So I'm not excited about the future of Tottenham, but what I will say is that fans, me, you watching, if you are a fan of Tottenham, we have the ability to have an effect on how that board operates. Now, it may require something of us that we don't want to do. It may require us turning our back on Tottenham a little bit. It may require us not attending games in person. It may require you not buying any Tottenham merch for a year. But you have the ability to do something. You have the say. They think you're just one voice, you're just one person. What does that have against an entity worth billions of dollars? Well, that's interesting because that entity worth billions of dollars is sitting here writing letters to you, begging you to take them back. So, what power do you think you have? Be for real. What power do you think you have? Because that same billion dollar infrastructure has been hiring and firing people for years now to write the most sappy love letters to you to convince you to stay. So apparently, you do have some sort of control, some sort of reign on that billion-dollar industry. Because the second you say you want to leave, they're begging you to take them back. So just keep that in mind, Spurs fans, when we go into the summer and we start seeing the same shit happen, because it will. I guarantee you, we're going to see the same. I'm not. I'm don't believe in any hype this summer. None. Don't believe in any hype. But we're going to see the same things this summer. We're going to be told the same things going into next season. Why don't you be the one to say, no, I've had enough. I'm done. Until I see something better, until I see something fucking different. Why don't you just say that? Let me just see Tottenham do something different instead of just doing the same thing over and over again. But until I see better, I'm not attending games in person. I'm not buying Tottenham merch. Whenever I'm asked to voice my opinions about Tottenham, I will let them know about my frustrations and disappointment. I will not take that moment to sit there and, I'm a Tottenham fan. Why don't you sit there and say, well, yeah, I'm a Tottenham fan, but you know what? Recently, I've been feeling like this. I've been feeling a little bit detached from the club, finishing in 17th twice. I've been feeling a little bit of detachment that this club keeps asking me for money, but yet nothing changes. I'm a little bit detached watching Richarlison and Solanke be my strike force going into next season. I'm a little bit detached that Wilson Odegaard and Matisse Tell are probably going to be my two starting wingers next season. I'm a little bit detached that my both of my tens have their ACLs ripped open at the moment. I'm a little bit detached that the only player of merit that's won a World Cup, has won a major trophy, is going to leave. I'm a little bit detached that we've been through 5 or 6 managers in 5, 6 years. I'm a little bit detached that we've only won our most recent trophy in the last 16 years last season, and we finished 17th. I'm a little bit detached that we almost got relegated this season. Like, make your voice known. Let them know about your angers and frustrations. Don't sit there and take the moment to, I'm a Tottenham fan and fuck Arsenal and fuck Chelsea. Why don't you be a real fan that says, you know what? I'm a fan of this club. I support them. Whenever I watch them on TV, I'm going to hope that they win. But as far as me supporting them in person, with my actions, just not really there at the moment. And you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised, 5, 10, 15 people that get up and say that. You'll be surprised at the hoops the club starts jumping out. You'll be surprised just how high this club can jump. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Just realize that, fans. You always have that power. They built that 60,000 seat stadium to get you to send the seats. They don't have 60,000 staff members that are coming to the game every day. There's not 60,000 youth academy players coming in to watch the game every day. There's not 60,000 construction member staff. There's not 60,000 hospitality staff. There's not 60,000 janitorial staff at Tottenham coming to watch that game. It's you. You who's spending the money on a season ticket and wanting to watch them play. So once you stop spending that money, once you make the decision to stop, just look at what the club will do. Because guess what? They said, well, we need you there. So how can I get you there? What do we need to do to get you there? Tottenham, I'm glad you asked that question. Let's look at the recruitment. Let's look at the staff members you've been hiring. Let's look at Vinay. Let's look at the Enoch children. Let's look at Lange. Let's look at Sebastian Kell. Let's look at Solanke. Let's look at Richarlison. Let's look at Matisse Tell. You'd be surprised, folks. You'd be surprised. Listen, I'm gonna end it here, end the stream here. Listen, I had a fun time streaming. Listen, last stream of the Premier League season. So, I'm glad that I got to spend this stream with y'all. We did a big one tonight. Definitely did a big one tonight. So why don't you go ahead and take that moment, like this live stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel since we went ahead and did the damn big one on the last stream of the season. Go ahead and leave a comment in the chat below. If you've been watching, put your comments in the chat. What do you think about the content? What do you like? What do you don't like? What do you want to see me talk about? What do you don't want to see me talk about? If I'm rambling too long, if I'm not rambling long enough, hell, you don't even got to talk about this stream or the video. You just want to put in the comment about how your fart smelled earlier today. That's fine. You saw a cool necklace at the store. You walked your dog. Your grandma died. Whatever it may be, put in the comments. I want to hear about it. I want to see you guys start to engage. And please, please help us get to please help us get to 10 subscribers. We can get to double-digit subscribers. Woo! That mean the world to me, folks. That mean the world to me. So go ahead, hit that subscribe. Follow me on X as well. When you do follow me on those softwares, go ahead, hit the notification bell so you can see what I post. I'm going live. You want to see what I'm talking about? Get in on all of that. Get in on all of that. Well, what I'll say is this. We're going to try to go live on Friday. Again, I'm not sure how the work schedule has been or is going to be this week, but I will try my best to find the time to go live somewhere around 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Maybe a similar situation to this where you may not see or hear anything until a couple hours before 7. That's why you want to hit that notification bell, folks. But either way, we're going to be trying to go live again. Try to go live again on Friday. We got the Champions League, Champions League final, I think. So we still got a little bit of football before the World Cup. It's not completely dead. So I'll be back live on Friday for another edition of De La Spurs. Until then, peace.